Beneath the surface of our oceans lies a world we were never meant to see. A realm where light dies and life takes on forms that shouldn't be possible. We've sent rovers to Mars. We've mapped distant galaxies. But the deep sea, we've explored less than 5% of it. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about what's happening 6,000 feet below our own oceans. As we descend deeper, crossing the sunlight zone, then the twilight zone, then the midnight zone, the creatures we encounter turn progressively stranger. Their teeth become sharper and longer, their fins change shape and turn into limbs, and they begin to devour things they were never meant to eat. This dragonfish has skin so dark that it absorbs 99.95% of all light that touches it. Its skin is made up of tightly packed melanosomes, tiny organelles filled with melanin pigment arranged in a microscopic structure that traps and scatters incoming light so efficiently that almost nothing reflects back. Why would a fish need to be this dark? Because down here, many creatures produce their own light through bioluminescence. They use it to hunt, to communicate, to attract mates. But if you're a Pacific black dragon, you're essentially invisible even when other fish are shining their biological flashlights directly at you. So what could exist deeper than this? If you choose to go down even farther into the midnight zone, you will see that the fish here can no longer use any bit of light from the upper ocean. They must either create their own glow or live in complete darkness. Even though it's known as one of the ocean's most terrifying creatures, it's actually harmless to people. The biggest ones only grow to about a foot or two in length. And even if one managed to reach you, its eerie teeth are so thin and fragile that they would barely cause harm. This fish belongs to the dragonfish family, though it might be the most unhinged member of them all. Literally unhinged. It's called the stoplight loosejaw. It may look like a strange defect, but this feature allows the fish to open its mouth not just extremely wide, but almost instantly. Its jaw works like a trap that snaps shut, letting it swallow prey nearly as big as its own head. There's nothing blocking the way, no cheeks, no bottom jaw, just an open space for swallowing. Each of its eyes gives off both red and green light, which is where its name comes from. These lights help it find prey in the dark. Most deep-sea fish can't see red light, so this one can spot its target while staying completely unseen. 3. Black swallowers. As we approach the bottom of the midnight zone, we encounter what might be the most bizarre fish of all. This is the black swallower. The black swallower can swallow prey over twice its own length and up to 10 times its own body weight. Here's the thing that makes this even stranger. If you saw a black swallower that hadn't eaten recently, you'd think it was just a normal, unremarkable fish about 10 inches long. But when it finds a meal, everything changes. Its stomach expands to absolutely ridiculous proportions, stretching its body into a distended sac that looks more like a tumor than a fish. The prey is often so large that you can see its outline through the swallower's stretched skin. Sometimes the prey is so big that it starts decomposing before the swallower can fully digest it, producing gases that cause the swallower to float to the surface where it dies. So why would evolution create something this extreme? Because in the deep sea, food is incredibly scarce. You might go weeks or even months without encountering prey. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like so YouTube can recommend it to even more people. At the bottom of the abyssal zone is the ocean floor. So what happens to fish on the ocean floor? This fish stands on the ocean floor, not swims near it, not rests on it, stands on it. It's the only fish in the world that does this. The tripod fish has 3 elongated fin rays, 1 extending from its tail and 2 from its pelvic fins, that have been reinforced and stiffened into rigid rods. These aren't legs in the traditional sense, but they function exactly like stilts, propping the fish up above the seafloor, sometimes over 3 feet high. Even though the actual fish body is only about a foot long, the tripod fish doesn't swim around hunting. It doesn't chase prey. It just stands in one spot, facing into the current, waiting for food to drift by. Its upper fins are covered in sensitive receptors that detect the slightest movement in the water. This might be the most depressing existence in the entire ocean. Tripod fish hardly move at all, and evolution has solved that problem by making them both male and female at once. They can reproduce with other tripod fish, but meeting another one is so uncommon that they usually reproduce on their own. Their eggs rise toward the surface, and when the young hatch and mature, they slowly sink back down to the depths, where they live on their long fins like stilts, standing alone until the end of their lives. Below the midnight zone lies the final layer of the regular ocean, known as the abyssopelagic zone, or simply the abyss. In this region live some of the most terrifying-looking fish imaginable. One of them is called the tripjaw anglerfish, also known as the wonderfish, with the scientific name Traumaticus. These creatures are often referred to as sea devils. They are literally fish that carry their own fishing rod on their heads. Its jaws are lined with interlocking teeth that function exactly like a wolf trap or a bear trap. When prey swim toward that enticing light and enter the mouth, the jaws snap shut, and the teeth lock together, creating a cage that's nearly impossible to escape. The wonderfish doesn't need to chase its food. It doesn't need to hunt actively. It just opens its mouth, turns on its internal light, and waits for dinner to deliver itself. It's the ultimate lazy predator, and it's terrifyingly effective. The wonderfish exploits the desperation of other deep-sea creatures, using their hunger against them. In a world shaped by light and by darkness, every creature must adapt, whether being visible or remaining unseen. Yet the Twilight Zone offers more than shifting shadows. It also reveals some of the ocean's most remarkable displays. Many predators here excel at hiding. Some fish are covered in skin so intensely dark that it absorbs almost all light, reflecting less than 0.5% of what hits it. Even when a submarine shines a beam straight at them, they seem to fade into the water. The anglerfish is among the strangest hunters of the deep. However, its greatest puzzle involves reproduction. Males hatch small, fragile, and unable to survive alone. Their one purpose is to locate a female. A challenge made even harder in the endless dark. Once he finds her, he bites into her with specialized jaws and slowly merges with her body. His own organs shrink until he becomes only a source of sperm, always attached and sustained by her bloodstream. This is one of the most extreme reproductive adaptations found in the animal world. Yet not all creatures here are hunters. Some survive by waiting, feeding on whatever drifts down from above. A single whale body sinking to these depths turns into a long-lasting resource, supporting whole communities for years to come. Despite its terrifying name, the vampire squid might be the most misunderstood creature in the deep sea. When scientists first discovered it, they thought they'd found a nightmarish predator. It has red eyes, a dark cloak like webbing connecting its arms, and the ability to turn itself inside out when threatened, revealing rows of fleshy spines. It looks like something that should be hunting in the darkness. But the vampire squid is actually a gentle scavenger. It doesn't hunt living prey at all. Instead, it collects marine snow, the constant rain of dead organic matter that drifts down from the upper ocean. It extends long, sticky filaments that catch particles of detritus, then pulls these filaments through its arms to extract any nutritious material. The vampire squid has evolved to survive in one of the most oxygen-poor environments in the ocean. Its blood contains a special pigment with the highest oxygen-binding affinity of any known cephalopod. It can extract oxygen from water that would kill other animals. This is the realm of ocean trenches, the deepest places on Earth, where the pressure exceeds 1,000 times surface pressure. Even specialized submarines can only visit briefly before the pressure threatens to compromise their hulls. And yet, life exists here. The deepest living fish ever discovered are snailfish, found at depths exceeding 8,000 meters in various ocean trenches. These fish look impossibly fragile, with translucent gelatinous bodies, thin skin, and no scales. They appear too delicate to survive in such an extreme environment. But appearances are deceiving. They lack swim bladders, the gas-filled organs that would be compressed to nothing at these depths. Their bones are thin and flexible rather than rigid. Most remarkably, their cells contain special molecules called piezolytes that stabilize proteins and prevent them from being deformed by pressure. What do they eat down there? Mostly amphipods, small shrimp-like crustaceans that swarm across the trench floor in huge numbers. Recent studies have found plastic fibers inside the bodies of amphipods from the deepest ocean trenches. Microplastics have reached the most remote, most extreme environments on Earth. Even the Hadal zone, which has been isolated in darkness for millions of years, is now contaminated with human waste. It's a sobering reminder that no part of the ocean is truly untouched anymore. The deep sea isn't as isolated as we once believed. What we do on the surface eventually makes its way down to even the darkest corners of our planet. Before we conclude our journey, I need to tell you about one more creature, and this one lives in a place you might actually visit. The stargazer fish inhabits the boundary between the epipelagic zone and the twilight zone, which means it can be found in relatively shallow water near coastlines. The stargazer has evolved one of the most unsettling hunting strategies in the entire ocean. It buries itself completely in the sand, leaving only its eyes and mouth exposed. Those eyes, positioned on top of its head, stare straight up at the water above, watching for prey to swim overhead. When something comes close enough, the stargazer explodes out of the sand with shocking speed, engulfing its prey before they even realize the danger. But here's what makes the stargazer truly disturbing. It just sits there, buried in the sand, staring up at you. If you're swimming in shallow water, and you happen to look down at the sandy bottom, you might see two eyes staring back at you, not moving, not blinking, just watching, waiting. This is the hatchet fish, named for its shape that resembles a small hatchet. Their bodies are silver, and their eyes have shifted so they are always directed upward. They would not even notice you if you stood right in front of them. The twilight zone blocks most sunlight, yet a small amount still filters down from the brighter layer above. By constantly looking upward, they can detect the faint outlines of animals passing overhead. This helps them locate prey, but it is mainly used to watch for danger. The hatchet fish may seem unsettling with their fixed upward gaze, but this adaptation is all about survival. They are usually only a few centimeters long, so they pose no threat to larger creatures. And in the deep sea, most predators certainly do not mind swallowing a tiny fish with unusual eyes. The deep sea is Earth's final frontier, and we've barely begun to explore it. If you found this journey into the abyss fascinating, let me know in the comments which creature disturbed you the most. Was it the anglerfish with its parasitic males? The black swallower that eats itself to death? The tripod fish standing alone forever? Or maybe the wonderfish with its internal trap? I read every comment and I'm genuinely curious which of these nightmares resonated with you. Do you like this video? Don't forget to hit the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Tap the like button so we know this content is making a difference. And if you're watching on your phone, don't forget to hit the hype button below. It really helps me earn a bit more income, and I promise to keep bringing you even more awesome content. Thanks for diving into the darkness with me today. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore more of the strange, terrifying, and absolutely fascinating creatures that share our planet.